Welcome back to another episode of Drivers4Drivers. I'm Ken Cox. Today we've got Francis Hamm.
Hi.
We have Sarah with no H.
Hello.
And Megan, and they are recruiting.
Hello.
We are
Drivers4Drivers.
Well, I'm glad you guys made the journey on over to yonder here.
Over the bridge, across the rainbow.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Because it's an interesting world that you guys play in. You guys upstairs there, and you talk to all of the brand new drivers coming in. And you sit there and it sells, essentially, right?
Yeah, pretty much. Customer service.
Customer service, sales. Let's say I'm a brand new filler. I'm like, hey, you know what? I want to make the better move. I'm going to go over to Giltner.
Yep.
I give you a call, or like, how do I get a hold of you?
So there's several ways that you can get a hold of us. We have our marketing team that does really well about advertising our jobs. So we have company driving positions. We have lease purchase, which are two prominent jobs that we have out there. You can go through our website, find our phone number, look up the job descriptions on there. We also have some of our testimonials from some current drivers, previous drivers that have been working with us. You can just give us a call. We can run through the whole gist of the company, the lease, answer any questions they have about the equipment, about what the perks are for company versus leasers, what the requirements are for them to get hired on with us for qualification purposes. And then we kind of give them the whole rundown of what their process is going to be like once they put in an application. And then we just keep tabs with them to let them know what we need from them in order to be able to get them scheduled for orientation and get them here.
I had an incident back in LA at one point. It might have been in another episode. What would that be a disqualifier?
It depends. What was your incident?
Ignorance.
Then no, I'm just kidding.
Sarah, so like sitting up there, what does your typical day look like?
My typical day? Mm-hmm. So from like when I wake up or...
Grab a brush and put on I wanted to.
When I come to Giltner, I go in and just start my computer, and then I go into my my programs. I check my emails. I make sure I check my voicemails, see if any drivers left me a voicemail the night before. I reach out to them through email. If I have any new applications, I'll start going through them, and then I'll start calling people.
Oh, right on. Are you from Idaho?
Yes.
You're from Idaho?
Yeah, born in Jerome.
I didn't know that.
Really?
Yeah, I really didn't. So born and raised in Jerome, Idaho?
Yes. January 1st, 95.
What's your social security number? Street you grew up on?
There was one I've grown up in a lot of streets, so be more specific.
Sarah's from the streets, is what I'm hearing.
the hard streets of Jerome. So, Megan, are you from Idaho?
Yes, born and raised in Idaho, and that's where my husband also is born and raised in Idaho, and we're raising our daughter here in Idaho.
Oh, right on.
That's good.
Why did you guys make the better move? Why was Giltner like on your radar?
I need a better job. No, I found Giltner. Actually, I met Kennedy in payroll, and at the time McKinsey. They always came to the Mr. Gus truck stop that when they first built up. I was actually a retail worker there for a little bit, and I was actually on the other spectrum. So I helped the drivers with their fuel, cashed out their EFS their EFS checks, and helped them with their comm data. So I was on that side of things. And then I met Kennedy, and I always saw them like every morning. So I always talked to them, and they were pretty friendly girls. And I asked them one day if they were hiring over at Giltner, and they told me that they didn't know, but they'd get back to me when they came back in. And she told me to go apply, and I'd always see Shane and Megan come through when they would get lunch or whatever. So like that's how I knew about Giltner. And then I applied, and then I met Mark Durfee, Jake Gold, and that's how I became a driver recruiter.
Oh, right on.
Good. That's good.
Well, What made you make the better move?
The first time or the second time?
So there was two.
There was two. So I graduated in 2013, and my mom was starting off in the safety department, which is Marla. So she asked me, she's all like, well, you need a job in the summertime, and you're fresh out of high school. How about you come be an office assistant? So back in the time, I was actually in the shop, and I was doing all the invoices and filing for them. So basically, I was working with Bri for a little bit. And then they realized that I'm really good at filing. So they're like, we are going to put you on the payroll and file some more. So then after a little bit, I started working in the safety department and doing some driver logs when we were still doing paper before we completely moved over to e-logs. So running paper logs in a machine, wow, a lot of artistic designs on that. And then after a little bit, I did I was going to school for psychology, so it was like a little part-time job that I was doing just to get a little bit of money. After I was done with school, I decided to not necessarily part ways with Giltner, but decided to go pursue a little bit more towards my degree because I got a degree in psychology. So I went over to a wilderness therapy program for about 2 years, and management over there just kind of came askew, and there was some stuff that I didn't quite agree with, and I got a call from Mark Durfee, and he was like, hey, we're hiring for a driver recruiter, and, we heard through the grapevine that you were looking for a job. And I was like, well, yeah, sure, I can come in. And it wasn't necessarily a formal interview. They just looked at me and like, when can you start? I was like, whenever you want me to. So then I came back. So this was from like 2013 to 2017, and then my 2-year break, and then I came back in 2019. I've been here ever since.
Oh, right on.
Yeah, you bet. So that makes two of you with the better move.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this. So if we have one of our professional drivers out there, and they truly do feel that Giltner is the better move, they enjoy working with the company and with the team, is there anything that they can do to help bring on additional drivers? And is there any monetary values or anything that's rewarding for them?
Do you want to talk about the driver referral bonus? Because I always mess it up.
We do have a driver referral bonus. They do receive essentially $2,500 for referring a friend, family member over to Giltner. So $500 after the first load that the driver gets, and then $500 or $1,000 after 30 days, and then $1,000 after 6 months. So they essentially, if they're here for a period of time, they'll get $2,500.
That's great. And what about the professional driver that joins on to the team? Do they get a sign-on bonus?
Yes. So we do have, I always forget that we literally just changed it a few months ago, and I'm so used to the old one that I'm just like, I get the first part, but then after that, I'm like, I get lost so much. But essentially, you do get for $500. For company drivers, it's a little bit different than leasers because we split it between the company drivers, so they get $250 upon completing orientation, and then the other $250 after their first load. With leasers, we do a little bit more of a leniency because they are having overhead costs coming out, so we do give them the $500 right up front. But anywho, so whenever they do get a driver in, we always tell them in orientation that we have referral cards for when they first come in. It has their name on it that safety puts together. We always try to tell them, if you are referring somebody over, make sure one driver has your name, because it's better off for us to be like, oh, I talked to John Doe at Flying J. Okay, I know John Doe. I worked with John Doe. I hired John Doe, so I know what to expect when a driver calls in. They're like, hey, I talked to John Doe. Yeah, he's very nice. He does the lease program. Are you interested in the lease program? What did he tell you? What can I answer questions that he may or may not have been able to answer for you? We also do ask them to also put their truck number down, just because sometimes some of them are like, well, you get my first name. If we have a lot of Andrews and, I need an Andrew and a truck number, then I can correlate who that Andrew is. I tell everybody in orientation, please don't tell me you talked to a driver in a white truck. We only have white trucks, and that doesn't help you, and that doesn't help us until later on down the road when you're like, yeah, I hired John Doe. Oh, we didn't know that. So we always tell them that. We're all like, if you're going to refer a driver, get their name, get their number, send it over to us. We can help take care of them. Or if you are going to answer all the questions and stuff with them, then great, let us know. So then that way we can make sure your name is on their application for the referral. So then that way you get the referral bonus, and then that way they can hopefully continue that chain effect to go on.
Sure. No, that makes sense. Well, that's good. That'll help there. And then what is it that you're really looking for in a driver? If I'm a professional driver and I'm driving for XYZ company, I've seen Giltner trucks running down the road. I have a good safety record. Let's say I had one speeding violation, and that speeding violation would have happened 2 months ago. Other than that, I've got a clean record. I have no incidents, no crashes, no anything like that. And I want to come on to Giltner. What can I expect, and how do I do that to successfully get onboarded? What do I need to do?
Okay. So first, always put in an application. Like I said before, we want to make sure that the reports and stuff match from what a driver tells us, because we want to make sure
Where do I go to put in the application?
on our website. If you go to giltner.com, hit apply now, it will take you right to our Intelli app to fill out that full entire application, and then it populates on my board, Sarah's board. We also do have 2 in-house recruiters, Kendra and Amber, who are also helping us with driver recruiting. So you might populate on their board as
Our
well.
application, can you do it on a cell phone?
You can definitely do it on a
Yeah.
phone.
Okay,
You can
great.
do it on a tablet. You can do it on your laptop. We do get a few hiccups of somebody saying, I filled out a full application, but it's a short form, but it's a point of contact. So we're able to say, we have your information. You are interested in company. We don't have a full app, but let me go over the company information to make sure that that is something that you want to do. And if something that we have to offer to you is what you want to do, or if you want to do the lease and you do qualify for the lease, then we can push forward in giving you the full application. Because I know sometimes it happens. I filled out a full app, it's a short form, but at least we're talking.
Sure.
We're having a discussion with you. You're telling me you have a pet named Chi-Chi and you want to bring Chi-Chi on the truck with you. Your wife wants to ride on the truck with you because she wants to travel the U.S. with you. So we're able to help accommodate that. We do offer a rider policy. At this time, it's $84 a year. You can work with your safety department to be able to prorate that. And then same with our pet policy. As of right now, it's $500 per pet, but we can also work with you about getting payments and stuff taken out if you're not able to accommodate that off the bat.
Right on. Speaking of safety, you have a safety topic?
Yeah, I do. A lot of times when we're talking about safety, and we talk about equipment safety, and there's times we want to talk about the driver's personal safety. We've talked about the driver's seat that they sit in. We've talked about the mattress. We've talked about sun. Today is very sunny outside, and I think everybody, wears their sunglasses when they're out there driving. Here's the thing: what happens when the sun's starting to set? It's
Right.
getting dark. Maybe it's inclement weather. You got clouds, you got rain coming in. You take your sunglasses off and you leave them in the truck, and you get out. A lot of times it's windy. What you run into is debris flying, sand, dust, pollens, all that kind of stuff. I would advise that everybody have a good pair of safety glasses that you can slip on, and when you're outside of the truck, to prevent any of those debris or anything from flying up and getting into your eyes. Nothing worse than to step behind your trailer to open the door and get blasted with a wind, and fill your eyes full of sand or something. So
Safety glasses.
Safety glasses.
Safety glasses.
Perfect. Thanks.
no problem.
Do you guys have final words of wisdom?
Come join Giltner. We're pretty fun.
I do kind of want to add on the whole where you can find Giltner on if any drivers that are on the Driver Pulse app, we do have, you can go and apply that way too. So that's a good way for you to find us if you're active on that. That was just another thought that popped in my head on where you can find us.
Yeah, and the Pulse app, you're able to text us. Obviously, don't text and drive. Don't do that. But if it's easier if you're, in between your break times on your loads, if you're with your current company, you're able to just shoot us a text, and we get it on our ATS system that we utilize, and we can be able to text you back and keep you up to date. So then that way we're not trying to play phone tag if it's not the right time, or, trying to chase down an email of something else that we're needing from you. So, yeah. But you guys need to, if you have any drivers out there, or if you're a driver yourself and you know somebody that wants to make the switch, just give us a call. Here's our phone number.
That's right. That's right. Well, I tell you what, I'd like to thank you guys for what you do. You know, you're kind of behind the scenes. We've got our professional drivers that are out there motoring the public every day, dealing with our customers, dealing with the public, dealing, you know, with receivers and shippers. We've got the dispatch team, driver managers, planners, everybody that's in the office that's communicating with that team, you know, and with customers all day long. There's the other departments that keep everything going. You know, a lot of times the drivers will talk with Bri in the shop and stuff like that, you know, or the safety department with Marla. You guys are just back there and you're doing your thing all the time. But really, if it wasn't for you doing what you do back there, bringing on our new professional drivers, we as a company, we couldn't grow.
Right.
So, you know, thank you very much for everything that you do. It makes a huge, huge difference in all of our operation. So it's definitely great to have you here with us today. I'm glad you had a time to spend with us.
Of course.
And then I also want to thank our professional drivers who are out there delivering loads for us every single day. We wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you and what you do every day. We appreciate you. Thank you for doing what you do. So,
Arnell doesn't have a mic, but you have closing thoughts. I told him I was gonna,
he's back there going like this, hand signals.
I don't speak sign language.
I think everything you guys said is perfect.
Awesome.
Well, thanks for making the better move. We'll see you next time.
All right, see ya.
Bye.
Bye.